Hello again, everyone. So today I'm going to be responding to a question from the comments, and this comment is from Corradospada. I am so sorry if I butchered your handle, by the way. It says, I tried, but playing from MPC, only one note comes out without changing the pitch. So this is a comment pertaining to one of my earlier videos on the CV outputs of the MPC. So I figured today what I would do is revisit that, and hopefully I'll answer the question along the way, because I believe I know what's happening, but again, I'll leave that up to you to decide. Give me a little bit of feedback. Let me know if this helps. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, to start off, I'll take our purple cable here and connect it to CV gate port number 1. Our pink cable is going to get connected to CV gate port number 2. Next, we'll take the opposite end of the purple cable and connect it to the 1 volt per octave range input of the 2 HP VCO. This is responsible for controlling the pitch of the oscillator. I'll take the pink cable and I'll connect it to the CV input of the 2 HP VCA. After that, I'll take a small purple cable and I will connect it to the output of the VCO. I'll take the opposite end of that cable and connect it to the input of the VCA. And then finally, I'll connect the output of the VCA to the mixer. So now let's explain what just happened here. The MPC Live 2 is going to control the pitch of the oscillator. The audible signal is going to be carried into the VCA. However, it will only be audible when the CV is active.
Now that our connections have been established, we'll start with a brand new project. I'll start off by selecting the CV program type. And now all I have to do is just make a few configurations here. Well, technically the configurations are already made, because again, remember, CV gate port number 1 is controlling the pitch, or the CV. And then of course, CV gate port number 2 is controlling the gate, pitch, and audibility. Let's just put it that way. This port controls the pitch. This port controls whether or not you'll be able to hear it. Okay, so now let's address the question. Why is it that when you touch these pads, you only get one note? Well, I am going to tap pad performance here, and notice how my octave range is set relatively low. Alright, so let's start by tapping a few pads here, and I'm just going to go to my lowest octave, and let's see what happens. So what's happening right now is that I get a different pitch for these first 12 pads, or should I say the latter 12 pads, but the first 4 I'm getting the same note. Okay, so what's causing that? Well, there are several answers to that question, but what it really boils down to is, number 1, the type of oscillator that you're using, and number 2, the CV that's being produced. See, in my case, I'm using my lowest octave. If I shift the octave up, now all of a sudden I get a different pitch. And there we have it. So that is one reason as to why that could be happening. The other reason could have something to do with the hardware on the opposite end of the equation. So say, for example, if you have an oscillator that has a restricted frequency range, A good example of that is actually something I'm looking at right now. The baseline by Percussive. I have that same issue here from time to time where I can't get the notes to change. So what I find myself doing is configuring the octave range or the CV receiving capabilities of the hardware device itself. So for anyone who's new to modular or new to using the MPC in this fashion, whenever I tap these buttons, that is not the MPC. The MPC is not making that sound. It's actually controlling the hardware that's over to the right of me. The thing or things that these cables are attached to. So again, that in and of itself may be the reason why that's happening. I don't know if you've tried that or not, but please do let me know. Another interesting thing about the MPC now is you have a drum program for CVs, or a percussions program, or a gate program for your CV outputs. So now the question is, what's the point of that? What does it do? Well, if I tap this pad over here, what you'll see is a collection of pad assignments. All I have to do is just turn this dial and I can change the pad assignment or pad configuration. So, well, change it to what? What's it going to do? Well, essentially what's going to wind up happening is it's just going to send a simple gate signal to the modular equipment. But I know what you're asking. Isn't that what this was doing before? The answer to the question is yes, but the purpose of this type of program is for melodic arrangements, whereas with this, you can use it for percussive arrangements. So there do exist percussive CV modules, like kick drums, snares, hi-hats, claps, etc., etc. The list goes on. And you can control those using this type of program. Say, for example, if I wanted to take the gate output of CV port number 1 and route it to a kick drum module, well, I could. In this instance, the gate is going to be assigned to pad A1, bank A, pad number 1. The same thing goes for pad A2, but the only difference is that I have this routed to a snare drum module. So if I wanted to, I could go and create an arrangement just using the keys. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll just make this loop 1 measure long. Okay. All right. Put a snare drum on every second hit. Just make a basic. Now, because we're using modular equipment, we're afforded the capability of using modulation lanes. I won't go into that right now, but for right now, what I am going to do is I'm just going to turn to my right, and I'm just going to start messing with a few of the parameters. Take a listen to this. pretty much how that works. So, a lot of flexibility, quite a few capabilities here, and I am so happy that they included this percussive gate option as well, so that's pretty neat. If I'm not mistaken, you should have 8 of these. Yeah, so you can, okay, yeah, because of the Live 2's hardware, you can have up to 8 assignments for your percussions. Pretty cool. All right, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys, so that pretty much does it for the MPC Live 2 CV Gate revisit. If you guys found that topic interesting, please let me know. That's actually one of my favorite topics to discuss with the MPC Live 2 or anything MPC related. That's actually the reason I picked up the MPC in the first place, because of the CV capabilities and what have you. But I can ramble about that all day. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to leave the questions in the comments. I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as I can. All right, guys, until then, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks.